Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Deji here, and I just wanted to share some encouragement. But before I do, I wanted to let you guys check out this. This is this is the flag from Israel. This is the Israeli flag, and I've been there several times. Love this country so much there that I experienced. One of the things that I experienced when I went there was something that they call the Mezuzah. The Mezuzah was every single time I would go into a new hotel room, a new cultural site, a new museum. They had these things called the Mezuzah, which was basically like a 6 to 8 inch rod on the doorpost, kind of slanted. And I kept asking, what the heck is this thing? And they told me inside the Mezuzah, it's a scroll of parts of the Hebrew Bible. Now, I know some of us are all in different religions and we have different kind of spiritual backgrounds, but within Jewish religion and Jewish culture, there's a very famous book. It's called the Book of Deuteronomy. And Deuteronomy is basically like the foundation for Judaism. So Deuteronomy 6:4 is a verse in that book which says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." So it's kind of like the staple or the foundation for Jewish religion. Now, so they put that scroll inside the Mezuzah. And so every time that you walk into a room or you walk into a new building, you're reminded that, hey, like, God is one. Like, this is like a reminder of who I am and who I am in God. So that's a thing for Jewish culture. And I started to ask them, like, what does that word obedience and hearing really mean? And I found something interesting. There's no word for obedience in the Hebrew Bible. In fact, the word obedience, where we get when we translate from the Hebrew Bible to English, it usually translates to obedience in English, but in Hebrew, it's actually known as to hear. So check this out. In ancient Jewish culture, hearing was associated with doing. So if somebody told you to hear something and listen to something, it was under the assumption that you were going to do it. It's really more so now in an American context or in a modern context where you can hear something and then not actually do it. Like, you can hear a command or hear something that you're supposed to do and not do it. Like, we've created this option or this choice. But in Jewish culture, there was no distinction between hearing and doing. Now check this out. I can remember when I was a kid being like in my room playing Halo 3. That was my game. Some of y'all don't even know about that. And I can remember my mom calling me, Deji, come downstairs. Now I can hear her and I would say, okay. But I'd be right back to it. Beating it on Legendary. Now, in that moment, I'm hearing something, but I'm not following through. I'm not doing it, right? And it's so interesting that we now have created this thing where you can hear something and do it. My question to you is, what has been something God or the source? You know, I know we all have different religious backgrounds. For me, as a Christian, my source is God, right? And so I would ask, what's something God has been telling me to do, but I've been holding off on, right? Maybe it's He's told you to write something. Maybe the source has told you to go and talk to someone, or to start something, or to volunteer somewhere, or to reach out to somebody. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure there's something that your intuition or the source or God has told you to do, and you've chosen not to do it. So in closing, I just want to share that I believe there's some goodies, there's some nuggets that you will get as you begin to live a life of hearing things that you feel are coming from the source and doing them, and not contemplating if you want to do them or not, or when you want to do them or not, because timing is everything too. And I just want to share this quick story to close about how this challenged me and how I found some just a different mindset on doing it. I remember when I was in college and I was getting paid. This was a Friday payday, and I was getting ready to get on the freeway to go home, and I was stopping for gas, and I felt the source tell me to give somebody behind me $20 for gas. Now, I know that's random, right? Like, why would you give somebody, just a random stranger, money for gas? But in the moment, I said, okay, this is random, but let me just follow through and see what happens. So I go to the guy behind me. He's like super tatted up. bald head. You know, I'm already thinking all these thoughts, and I go, hey, this is random, but something told me to give you $20. And he looks at me like, I don't need $20. Pulls out a stack of money. I mean, he had like 10 G's and hundreds. He's like, I don't need any money, man. Like, what do you mean something told you? So then I'm like, oh man, was I wrong? Like, questioning. And then we ended up talking for about 30 minutes. At the end of that conversation, he said, no one has ever done that to me in my life. And he said, because of what you did, I'm now going to pay it forward to the person behind me. So in that moment, I just learned that our obedience is oftentimes connected to a greater purpose, a greater person, a greater cause. And if we follow through with what we hear, but not only just hear, but when we hear it and do it, we'll be able to get some goodies in our life. So I just wanted to share that. Hope you're having a good day. Have an abundant week. Talk soon.